I'm recording again.
Cool.
So, okay, so you are a Chaos Knight in this game.
Yeah. So I thought I was playing like really good um, throughout the everything up until like the late game,
Mhm.
and then I feel like I made some really bad late game calls that ended up just losing us the game.
Okay. Well,
Um,
chances are, the late game calls actually don't matter so much. Like they do in this game, but if your early game is like much better, which I'm sure I'll be able to find some stuff that you did wrong, and we can improve on, then you won't have to worry about making late game decisions. That's kind of what I focus on with lower MMR students. I just focus on like building fundamental skills, like last hitting, spacing, just fighting, objective control, stuff like that. Stuff that is relevant in every single game, no matter what, and every situation. And that way, you can start reliably practicing these things that apply to every situation, rather than just focusing on like random things like late game scenarios. I don't know, complex item builds, stuff like that that don't apply to every game.
all right,
Okay,
makes sense.
so you start with boots, mango, and tango. I think this is already a mistake.
Yeah, because I had the random goal, and I was kind of just trying to figure out what to go with it.
Yeah, that's fine. Uh, I think because you're laning against like presumably a Tidehunter and maybe a Pudge or a Doom, one of these combos that like they have some weird heroes, but I'm assuming it's Tide. Tide is actually really good in lane, especially against melee heroes. Like Anchor Smash like can allow him to trade very effectively as long
If
as
I
there aren't
remember
like
correctly, it was Spectre.
really.
You do remember the MMR I'm at, right?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I've seen Spectre offlane before. It's like it's okay. It's
Yeah,
not great, but
no.
okay. Well, either way, you should base your item decisions off like what you think the opponent is going to do, not what uh, they probably shouldn't do, like Spectre offlane, unless you specifically know the opponents. So either way, if you're playing against like the three obvious offlaners in this game, one of the three or two of the three or whatever, you
Right.
should get like a Stout Shield, Tango Salve, and Mango is fine. And this is true because you need the regen and you need the Stout Shield. Like the Stout Shield allows you to trade hits with the enemy offlaner. Like if you're both in the middle of a creep wave, like here I'll speed up so this is actually relevant. If you're both hitting each other in the creep wave, like just trading hits, you're gonna want to take less damage from the creeps because the creeps are actually going to do like very significant damage early on, and a Stout Shield will help negate that a lot. Okay, you're rich. Get the bounty rune. Doesn't usually happen. Okay, so already one small thing. Your camera position is a little bit weird. Like,
Yeah, it's a little bit to the
yeah, it's a little bit too low.
yeah.
Like, basically, you have all of this that is totally useless. Like this entire area right here. You could have it positioned a little bit farther up, and it
Are
doesn't
you
make a
sharing?
huge
By the way, are
difference.
you supposed to be sharing screens right
Oh, holy shit! All right, I'm so sorry.
now?
Okay,
I
yeah,
thought
that
you're
would.
talking. I'm like, I mean, like I've got the game at just about the same time, but
Yeah, I'm so sorry. All right, it should be good now.
all
I was like
right.
so distracted by the audio issues. All right, so anyway, let's go back a little bit. So here's like the area that I was talking about with the screen sharing thing.
Yeah, so it should probably be up a little bit more.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like somewhere around here would be totally fine. And like this might not seem like a big difference, but when you apply these skills constantly and practice your camera control, it's going to get like just passively better, and you'll have better camera control in fights when it like really matters, and you'll be able to like see more, gather more information subconsciously, and you'll make better decisions that way. Okay. So this isn't actually like helpful information, but you're missing a lot of CS here, and that like really matters.
Yeah,
Uh,
I was trying to just get used to Chaos Knight again. I haven't played it in a long time.
yeah,
I
that's fine.
just
But this is basically like a free lane. So this is like it's acceptable because you're low MMR, but it's not acceptable because like you're basically giving up all this gold that's been given to you. Okay, interesting.
yeah. Some
It's
of
fine.
the some stuff's so weird.
Yeah, that's fine. Basically, you guys can't really kill this hero. Like, you can if
Because she
he
did.
messes up a little bit, but she doesn't have dagger, and you can tell just by hitting her. Like, you'll get dispersion damaged, so she can die until she gets dagger. Even then, she can die. The combo is you stun, or you reality rift rather, and then you stun, and you're hitting her the entire time. Like, here, I'll try to make it a little more clear. Okay, so you lead with reality rift, you hit her a couple times, and as she starts to run away, you stun. And then this whole time, Earthshaker is running up. He's running up, and you're hitting her. And then when your stun fades, he fissures, and then he keeps running. And then it's a pretty much free kill. There's no way this hero will live. Now, if he gets dagger at level 2, then it becomes tricky, because you have to wait for... you have to hold your reality rift before he crosses the fissure. Or for after he crosses the fissure, rather. Okay, either way, I think you can, if you had a stout shield, or you can do it without a stout shield too, you can just, like, play way more aggressive on this guy. Like, this guy actually can't walk up if you don't have a significant creep advantage, or if he does not.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the things I like have a lot of trouble with is like figuring out whenever I can't just stand there and not be afraid, or if I have to like do what I'm doing here, which is kind of like that. I'm gonna fade back and then I'm gonna go in for the last hit, and then it's almost what I always do with that. But,
Yeah.
And I know it's less efficient. It's just I don't know. It's like this habit that's built up.
Right, and we can try to fix that. So basically, when you're trying to zone people, but without actually trading with them, like let's say you just wanted to be in this little line, so you don't actually right-click on this hero. You just right-click right next to them and like issue a move command towards them. So by doing that, you don't aggro the creeps, but you're still getting the same positioning that you would do, right? That you would get if you were going to attack him. So like you would walk up, right-click right next to him right here, and then you can start hitting him then. And you'll take less creep aggro this way, because they'll be aggroed on you for less time.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's good that whenever he walks up, you hit him, but he definitely, like, this guy doesn't have a stout shield, he has a quelling blade and 2 branches. These are his, like, combat items. And you only have boots and a belt of strength, but you're still much stronger than him, because your base stats are better. Like, you have 20 damage on this guy, holy crap. Not to mention, like, I think, like, this guy could just be dead this entire time.
Yeah, actually, he never picked up a level of dagger.
Yeah, like, you could very easily solo kill him. So this is already... okay, so it looks like he dies here. Okay, he picks up dagger.
He gets dagger.
Yeah.
And then I die, because I got cocky there. I was like, oh, I can totally get it.
Okay, yeah. So that was already a mistake. Like, probably the biggest mistake so far. This should never happen. I'm not sure what else to say. Let's try to, like, deconstruct why. So, like, after this hit...
I probably should have backed there.
Yeah, the reality rift hit. Yeah. That's when you back off, for sure. It's like, there's no way you're actually going to get a second hit until, like, you're under the tower and he turns on you. So that was just conceptually bad. And that right there is, it's a game-losing play. So, like, I know you said, like, this game came down to, like, late-game decisions. But already right there, this is a play that could lose the game. Now, because it's, like, a 2K bracket, it probably doesn't. Like, you guys will have plenty of chances to come back. So, that's not to worry about. Like, okay. So, in this situation, you're probably feeling, like, kind of crappy about yourself. Like, oh, I just died to a Spectre offlane. But,
Yeah.
that's the worst thing you can do. Like, you really want to make sure that you stay positive with yourself and, like, just try to come back. Because if you tilt, that's, like, the easiest way to lose. And you won't get better if you're tilted. Okay, and at this point, you're still, like, stronger than the Spectre.
The stun at the same time kind of sucks.
Yeah,
Being on the wrong side, but that doesn't matter too much for the Spectre.
yeah, that should have been a kill. Oh, let's go back. Okay, so I think even with the bad fissure, it would have been a kill. You could just be hitting him, hitting him, hitting him. Oh, let's go back a little bit more. Okay. Actually, watching it again, I think the fissure decided that it was a bad kill. But if he had fissured, like, him on the right side, that was pretty much guaranteed, even if he daggers away. Because you can always reality rift and hit him.
And then it brings it back to the side and then...
Right. And you're not going to play Chaos Knight and Earthshaker in the same lane very often. and you're especially not going to do it against a Spectre very often, but it still applies to heroes that have some sort of like gap closing skill, like Spectral Dagger. So it would apply to, I don't know, Puck, Faceless Void, Queen of Pain if you can get in range, heroes like that. It's not just specific to Spectre. Okay, pick up Treads, I like this. It's good. I think at this point you would also want to pick up a TP just in case. Like Chaos Knight is actually really good at counter ganking. Like you're very strong at this point. And like let's say Rasta or even Pudge or Tidehunter, like one of these heroes gets aggressive on your teammates at their tower, then you can just TP in and kill them. But this applies mainly because like all of these heroes are relatively squishy. Like it might seem like Tide and Pudge are like really tanky because they're strength heroes, and like they're just seen as tanks. But you can actually like if you have teammates, you can kill them pretty easily. So this is something really important. Like just picking up a TP fairly early, as soon as you're ready to like fight. But also be careful doing this, like buying a TP. Because it can also lead to like some really bad decisions. Okay, nice, excellent.
I was like, I feel like I did something about a TP here.
But... Okay, well that's good. But as a carry, you want to make sure that you're only TPing when it's going to be advantageous for you. So like when you're getting a kill or whatever, preferably like 2 kills. That's like a general rule. If you think you can get 2 kills by TPing in, then go for it.
Or kill on a tower. Something like that.
Right. Alright, 1 sec. I'm gonna deal with the ducks.
Cool.
Okay, hi. Alright, so I'm gonna speed up through this. General points of the laning phase. Try to know your hero strength, and we can talk about how to like get a better gauge for this afterward. Also, it's worth it to just last hit, like practice, in a custom game or whatever, because like you're missing out on a lot of golds, and the gold early on matters more than it does later. Like getting, let's say, a bracer or your treads earlier will matter much more than it will later on, because later on you'll have higher base stats just naturally through levels. So, a bonus to 9 strength or 9 any attribute with treads will matter much more early on, since it's like a higher percentage of your stats. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
I think that this fight actually works out in my favor. I think.
Yeah, I mean this Doom hero is really squishy. Like look at his stats. He has 900 HP, which might seem like a lot, but he has 1 armor.
Because it's Doom.
Like yeah, because he's Doom.
That 1 armor actually makes him OP. We can't forget that.
True.
Yeah.
That's quite a meme. But yeah, your hero is like he's very good at doing physical damage. You have a nuke, which doesn't do physical damage, does magic, but still, like and Reality Rift, it gives you extra physical damage. 60 physical damage against a hero with 1 armor is so much. Like, and plus, if you get lucky, it reduces armor by 5. He has -4 armor.
What are you talking about getting lucky? This is a purely skill-based game. This is a purely skill-based game.
Oh, true.
Right.
Okay. I think in this game I would go for something like Armlet, or maybe I would probably pick up a Midas in this game, but it's looking pretty tricky at this point. I say you should pick up a Midas because you have so many heroes that on your team that want farm. Like actually every single one of your heroes wants a lot of farm. Like even Earthshaker, he at least wants his Blink Dagger, and also you have a Legion Jungle. So if you think about this conceptually, like just on your team, there are 4 heroes who want to be hitting creeps like pretty much all the time when they're not fighting. So it's okay to pick up a Midas in this case, because it will allow you to get more farm while having to hit less creeps. Does that make sense?
Yes. There's that kill.
Yeah.
I remember I know something culminated like at some point there, but yeah, like it's just like weird things like, do I get a Midas now? Is it too late for a Midas? Or is the team comp right for a Midas? Like,
yeah,
picking up items is always just kind of weird.
Yeah, it is weird. I wouldn't worry about like if you're making the right decision or not early on. Like, basically you just need to figure that out for yourself through playing. And I can give you like guidelines, like let's say buying a Midas before 20 minutes is perfectly okay, as long as they're not like, in the process of pushing down all your towers. Like if let's say this Rasta was doing really well and he already got 2 towers at this point, you might not want to get a Midas because
Right.
like he could just push really hard and end the game. But if let's say Rasta is doing well, but you have a lot of heroes that have deep push, like Keeper of the Light or Rubik, some of these heroes, like with a lot of AoE nukes that are long range to kill creeps, then it could be slightly different. But in general, you can probably get away with buying a Midas in most of your games, as long as they're not actively pushing your towers. But that being said, I don't recommend it unless like you're in a situation where you just have 4 heroes on your team that are like desperate for farm.
Right. I've never really thought about like even like if there's like that greedy jungler character who's supposed to go Midas, like actually getting a Midas as like the quote unquote normal carry in the game.
Yeah, well, it's not bad. It really depends on your role, and this mainly applies to Chaos Knight because he's not a good farming hero. Like he has all single target abilities. He has no AOE's naturally. Like his most effective way to farm is like technically using Phantasm and like pushing a wave and then TPing to another lane and pushing that wave. But that's not like actually practical at all. I want to watch this. Okay, excellent. That's pretty much all you needed to do there. That was good. Yeah, so going back to the Chaos Knight thing, like this wouldn't apply if you were playing a Gyrocopter or a hero of that nature, where you have a lot of AoE like ability and you're really good at farming.
Just nuke down waves. And...
Right, because you can farm so fast without it that you don't need it, and it's actually like very bad for your team to do that. Because that's like a hero like Gyrocopter is also really important during early fights, just because he has so much nuke damage. This guy should die. Okay, excellent. So you go back to base. I think this is fine. Looks like you're also going armlet. Yep. Okay, good. I was actually just going to comment that you don't spend a lot of time looking at other heroes.
I'm usually looking at the map instead of looking...
Yeah. And that's not bad. There is some information that you can gather that you can't gather from just looking at the map, though. Like hero health. Like, yeah, let's go back a little bit. We're at 950 right now. Let's go back to when you were laning against a Spectre 1v1. At this point, you already died, so it's a little different. But, before this, you were just laning against a Spectre. The hero basically, like, is not there. He's a big creep. That's what this hero is right now. So you could... when the creeps aren't under your tower anyway, you could very easily just, glance over at the other lanes really quick. It doesn't have to be too long, but this will give you, like, it will start allowing you to formulate what you want to do for the game, or what you want to do in the game.
Kind of
so,
like how each lane's going, so this one's clearly winning, this one's clearly losing, so I should prepare for whoever is winning top.
Right,
kind of
right, and you can change your item decisions this way. Okay, let's go back to 950. Alright, so you need to be a little careful of Doom here. They shouldn't get away with this, because, like, Earthshaker should just be able to TP in if he has mana. You also have a Legion Commander. Okay, all of your teammates are completely out of mana. That's not good. I think it's still tricky for them to kill you.
I think I actually did that with this.
Yeah, okay, the dagger should have, like, made it pretty easy for them, or at least easier.
I, like, went away long enough that...
Yeah. Okay, this was fine.
I fuck up with reality. I almost forgot about that.
Yeah. So, let's go back a little bit. So this kiting was all fine. I think he should have died because this guy could have hit his dagger, but whatever. That's gonna happen. I think the stun was okay. I think you could have been hitting him though. Like it's tricky to say because of dispersion damage, and he can also haunt. Like if he doesn't die during the CC. But I think you could have gotten a hit off and then ran down. It's like I might open up paint for this. Okay. Go to the point where Spectre is stunned. All right. Okay, so you are up here. At this point, you had just stunned, and you were actually like right here. Now Fissur's gonna land here, and at this point, Doom has one nuke, and he can right-click you like maybe once, probably twice, realistically, if he moves perfectly. And you have like about, I think, 400 HP. Let me check. You have 300 HP. This guy does 90 damage, but you have a lot of armor. You have like 11 armor, so you're not going to die in 2 right clicks and the nuke. So I think at this point, since Spectre is stunned, you can just run down after the stun, hit him once, and then keep running down. And that's a little weird, because it might seem like you're putting yourself in danger, but there's actually no way you can die. Like, this guy doesn't have any nukes other than his mud golem thing that he consumed, or devoured rather. So by doing this, you're gonna bait the Doom in a little bit into your Legion Commander, and this will like set up a kill on the Doom. And like you guys end up killing Doom anyway, but this is like a slight optimization thing. So like what I'm talking about is you stun here, or from here, and then you run down, hit the Spectre once, or even just run down, like through. You don't even have to hit Spectre really, but that's something you could have done. So you just run down here, and then keep kiting, and Doom will probably chase you, or he'll hit Legion. Either one is fine. But this is like another thing that you can do to set your team up for better kills. Whereas like in both situations, you're running away. Like you run, I think, this way, and then turn on Doom later on. But either way, you're setting up for the Doom kill. But this one is like it's getting Doom closer to your team. I'm probably going over this too much, but you get my point, I think.
I got you though.
Okay.
Like, if you don't go over the minute details of like some situations, like.
Yeah, stuff like that really matters, in my opinion. Okay, so unfortunate reality rift, but it doesn't matter so much. Generally, an okay rule is on Chaos Knight is if you don't have many illusions out, you should wait to reality rift until it's a gap closer. Because like right here, I think you were in range already. You hit him.
Yeah, I think in my mind I was just like, all right, I'll just go for the extra damage, and then.
Yeah. And like that makes sense. You want to go for the extra damage, but you actually will do more damage by right-clicking and then reality rifting and then right-clicking. Like it'll be higher DPS, and you could have definitely just hit him once and then reality rifted.
The only other thing I can think that might have gone through my head is maybe I can save Legion, but I don't know if I thought about that.
Yeah, that's fine too. Okay, so at this point you're pretty low. I think it's worth it to send yourself out of salve when you get the courier. It's also worth it just going back to base, because they have a Spectre who has haunts. She can also just dagger you and then haunt. You like to go top. Okay.
I think it was because I wasn't feeling safe at bot.
Yeah, that's fine, but you have no HP.
Yeah.
It's like you're not safe because you're low HP. If you're full HP, then you wouldn't have to worry. But yeah. You also wanted to farm your armlet, so that's fine-ish too, but it's pretty unsafe. And it's like you also have to remember that when you're playing against a global hero, and they have their cooldowns up, they can be anywhere. So like if you're in the lane with them already, they're likely not going to use their global skill to get to you, or if they do, then whatever, they make a good decision. But by you going up here, all Pudge has to do is get in range of you to rot. And just get the slow off, and then you're instantly dead with no counterplay. As long as Spectre follows up. It's like he can rot, and as soon as you're rotted and slowed from it, he can dismember you, and you die. Unless your teammates come in and make a miraculous play, and then see this coming.
But this is 2K MMR, so.
Right. Well, even though it's 2K, then you still want to
No, I
play around them being good.
Our teammates being good.
Right. That too.
Well.
Yeah, that's true as well. Okay. Hitting towers. At this point, you should be thinking about who the threats are on their team. Tidehunter with a Blink Dagger, very important threat, very scary. Pudge hooking from Fog, which is what he's setting up to do, very scary. Looks like one of you guys are getting hooked here. The worst one to get hooked is Earthshaker by far. Okay, they should have defended this tower. I'm 100% sure about that. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't defend. That's really weird. They have Blink Tide. They also have Haunts. Inspector's already pushing this. They could have just had Legion Commander and Rasta push this tower on their own, but or they could have had Doom and Rasta rather push. I think you guys were supposed to die here with Ravage and Hook, but whatever. You got the tower, that's good. Okay, you keep TPing to other lanes when you're very low HP and mana. Like, when you do this, and when the enemy team sees this, they might not think of anything at the time, because it's like 2k. But if a good player or a good team sees you do this, like they see the enemy carry, who's like really good at fighting, they TP to a lane, and they have no mana, they can do whatever they want. Like, these guys could go Rosh right now with Rasta wards or something. And your team wouldn't really be able to do anything. Like, and it's because you have no mana. Like, you only have one spell. You'll have two if you switch to Intreds. But either way, like, a Chaos Knight with only, like, 2 spells is pretty scary. But a Chaos Knight with only 2 spells and half HP is not scary at all when you have these kind of nukes. Or when you have Doom, when you have Gush, Anchor Smash, these kinds of things. So you really want to be careful when you're TPing to lanes like this. You want to make sure that you're not like screwing your team's macro game at the same time. Because like you're not a threat down here at all. Okay, speeding up. I don't think you guys have vision on Pudge right now. Okay, Pudge showed top earlier, so that's fine. If Pudge were off the map right now, then this would be a bad place to be. Because you know they still have hunts. You know, if Pudge hooks you, you basically die. Unless you have teammates here. And, like, you have Drow and Legion Commander that are pretty close, but they're not close enough to save you if you were to, like, I don't know. Yeah, get hooked up here, or even here. Okay. So you're not looking at the fight right now.
No.
Okay, there you go.
I think this is whenever Drow starts to tilt really hard.
Yeah.
And I can't get any vision out of it.
Okay, this was like slightly inefficient. So let's go back and watch exactly what you did. Alright, so you start running over as soon as you see a Spectre going Drow. You can't control Drow's movement, so don't worry about that too much. The play here is to stun, then Phantasm, then Reality Rift. Like stun, and while your stun is in the air, you Reality Rift. Or, sorry, Phantasm. And that will create the illusions. And then you can chase later with Reality Rift.
Instead I run over and then...
Yeah, then Reality Rift, and then, or then Phantasm, then Reality Rift. Sorry, I keep messing up the skill names. But that's inefficient. You understand why? Because it's just like, you're getting less time to hit him. So you get the kill either way, so you have like some breathing room there, you have like a little buffer, but that's, stuff like that will matter if your team, or if your enemies know how to farm like slightly better. Like if this guy had a Vanguard or something, you know, something reasonable for 14 minutes. There. You should definitely go to base here. A Chaos Knight with no mana, not scary. Okay, you go Drum. I think Drum is an okay choice. The hero's mana pool is like super low. You benefit from the move speed quite a bit, benefit from the stats quite a bit. Not bad. Okay, so you guys smoke up. It's pretty weird.
I think the original idea was we were gonna go Roche, and then we just found Pudge.
Okay, it's fine. You guys don't have good Roche heroes though. Like, Legion Commander is pretty good at Roche, but he's not doing like that hot. Like he's not very farmed at least. I wouldn't say he's farmed enough to go for a Roshan attempt. And Ember Spirit, completely worthless on Roche. Like he doesn't do anything. Your hero is actually pretty good at doing Roche, but they didn't even get you in the smoke. So, you know, you can't really just walk into pit while they're doing it. Without...
Otherwise, it kind of destroys the entire purpose of smoke.
Right. There's basically no point. If they have any wards, which they should have some ward. Yeah, they have a ward bottom river. It's right here. This is like a super standard spot. Yeah, that's bad. It was like I think it was just random. Like there was no point to do it. So it was objectively a bad decision for the macro game. And also it was executed poorly, so it's not good. Okay, so also this is something I didn't touch on yet, is you really want to aim to get this tower down as early as you can. Like it's slightly different in this game, and it's harder in this game because the enemy team got your tower so quickly. But this is an important tower, I would say, because this tower gives them access to your jungle. Like it gives them much easier access anyway. So a good Pudge would probably be abusing this little area here, especially when they have Spectre on their team, because they can have 2 heroes anywhere they want, basically. So Pudge could have like smoked down here and access your Drow or your Legion Commander, 2 very vulnerable heroes. They could have gone to you. You're much harder to kill, so it's not as important for you. But this tower matters quite a bit, so it's good that you get it done now. But that should be like your biggest objective early on, at least in this game. Okay, so you go farm top. It was probably fine. I think you guys should be collapsing on this, so I want to see the setup. Okay, so you see Pudge mid, and he just walks into your jungle right now. You also see Rasta mid. I think it was a good decision to go top and a bad decision for Drow to stay here, because like she had enough information to gather that Pudge was running, at least to this area. So going top was fine. Also, when you do this, like when you have Phantasm Illusions still up after you push a lane, you want to farm with them for sure. Hitting heroes is fine, but it's...
Yeah, I think I just misclicked, because what I'll usually do is I'll just go and A-click them towards the next tower.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. It's a fine habit. So they end up chasing the Spectre, which sucks. But this is a presence of mind thing, and you can get like a little extra farm out of this. And a little extra farm might not, seem like much. Oh, I'm just gonna get like 2 or 3 extra creeps, but that could be the difference between you having a TP scroll and your major item for the next fight, or you have your major item but not a TP scroll, so you can't get to the fight, like later on. It's like every CS really matters. Okay, moving on. I don't like that you and Ember are both pushing this, and this isn't really a mistake on your part, because Ember is like, he went to the lane that you were farming. But since there's nothing going on the map right now, there's like a lot of areas that your team can farm. It could be anywhere here. We also just saw Pudge leave the jungle earlier, so it's like slightly inefficient to have 2 heroes farming in the same lane.
Yeah, I remember telling Ember to back at this very moment because he's about to die.
Yeah, if he gets doomed, he'll die. He's like okay because he has Remnant up, so as long as he doesn't get CC'd, he'll be okay.
Yeah, about that. Oh, is it this one?
Yeah.
No,
okay.
I know that exact situation he dies in.
Yep. It's pretty common for Embers to die in that kind of thing. Okay. So we're farming. You're working towards an SNY. I think that's fine. I think if you plan on going SNY after Armlet, that's fine, but I don't think you get Drum in this case. Like, the mana is helpful, but SNY and Drum basically do the same thing. Like, you get a lot of extra mana from Drum, which is good, but it's a bit overkill on the stats, I think. Whereas you could be working towards, like, a Manta, or BKB is okay in this game. It's pretty good, I would say. Yeah. I don't see any other, like, really important items. Satanic is pretty good, Heart is okay, Manta is good. But yeah, I think you understand my point. Okay. It's actually good that you didn't waste any mana there. Generally, you want to make sure the duel like is 100% going to be won, but you didn't have to worry there. Like, he was going to die, so it's fine.
I never know whenever to use like ultimate sets to clear waves and what kind of heroes should. I have no idea if you're supposed to with Chaos Line or not. I assume not, since the cooldown's fairly long and it's of a mana. But like, I feel like every once in a while, like gyros are using their ults and stuff like that.
Well, I think it's just like a cooldown thing. Like, I really think you can just use that as a rule for now. Like, there are some very specific situations where like you need to use Phantasm to split push, and then TP to your, or TP to your team fighting or something like that. But I think you shouldn't worry about that, and you should just not use it to farm, because the cooldown is so long and it's such a huge part of the hero, like your damage and fights, that it's not worth thinking about those kinds of situations until you get to the point where they matter, which is like I'd say like maybe 6k MMR, probably higher. That's when, you know, decisions like that will count. But the reason Gyrocopter can do that is because his ult is on like a 60-second cooldown at level 1. So it's, you know, super short. Like you can do that and then, you know, be ready to fight a minute later. Also, his hero doesn't completely rely on the ultimate as much as Chaos Knight's does, so it's slightly different. Okay. So, you guys are in kind of a weird spot, but I think since your heroes are all pretty good at fighting, you should be looking to smoke as often as possible, and like getting wards down. This is probably the most important thing in this game, actually, for you guys, is getting good ward control in the enemy jungle. Like, basically all of your heroes are good at setting up for kills. Like, actually all of them. Even Drow, like, she wants Shadowblade, so she can invis and give you guys some information and set up with the silence or frost arrows or something like that on a hero. But the rest of you, Ember has Slate of Fist into chains, or he can Remnant into chains, Remnant Slate chains, all of these things. Earthshaker, he doesn't have his Blink yet, so he's not good at setting up fights really, but he can at least Fissure. Legion has Blink Duel, and then you have your Stun and Reality Rift. And you have a Drum. So you all have these ways to catch people. So you should be looking to, like, not force 5v5 fights, but just find key pickoffs in the jungle. Like finding Rasta or Pudge or Spectre are all good, or even Tidehunter or Doom. Actually, any of these heroes that you pick off means you can start pushing a little bit. Because, like, they're all really important parts of the team fight, or the enemy team's team fight. So you should definitely be looking to smoke and, like, get some pickoffs in the jungle. Also, a good habit when you go for smokes like this, like when you're just going into the jungle, is to bring some wards. If your team doesn't buy them, then it's okay for you to. You know, as long as you're not really close to an item. Like, the information that the ward will give you farm in, like, a roundabout kind of way.
Right, because then I know it's safe there, and then I can farm that spot instead of having to run back.
Right, exactly. Or if you see somebody here and you know it's not safe, then you can go to another place and farm, because you know that place is safe.
Or I can just get a kill because someone else is solo, something along those lines.
Yeah. Yeah.
The vision is worth the 75 gold. Those 2 last hits.
Yep. 100% worth it. Okay. So you're watching this fight, that is good. I'm not sure what else to say. It's really hard to play this game if you guys don't have good vision, and you have the ward in their jungle and the ward bottom river, but these aren't super valuable. In situations like this, I generally just look to split push as hard as I can, and, you know, that will force the enemy team to react in some way. Like, they might choose to ignore the tower that I'm split pushing. Like, let's say let's just use this. So basically you're forcing the enemy team to make a decision here, and they choose to go mid, but another one of their options is to just go and defend this tower. But either way, you're either getting a tower for your team, or you're forcing the enemies to do something. Okay, and they end up killing somebody, which is, you know, not bad.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And they don't even get a tower.
Yep.
Oh, that's...
Okay, so you just killed that guy with illusions, I think. That's not supposed to happen, but good job. Actually, I want to see what happened here. There's like...
I am actually curious myself. No idea. So I just leave the illusions up there and A-click. Alright, and then this is when he dies.
Oh my god, alright. Well, you know, well played. All according to plan, I'm sure.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
Why I put the phantasms there in the first place. It wasn't to take the tower. That was actually a ruse.
Yeah, you knew the Tidehunter wouldn't react. It's brilliant. Okay. So still, like, these enemy heroes are really weak right now. Like, I think Spectre just got her relic, so that's not good. But you really want to be like smoking with your heroes. All of you guys are really, really good at getting pickoffs, and that's like, I don't want to say the only way you guys can win, but you don't have good heroes for like sieging towers. It's your avenues to winning this game are through Roshan at this point, where you both have armlets. You have ways to do Rosh effectively, and you also have Drow. Or by getting pickoffs and then getting towers. You can't just like run at this mid tower when all 5 enemy heroes are up, because you're gonna get like ravaged. You're gonna get maybe hooked into fog, or one of your heroes is gonna get doomed, like your Ember Spirit or Earthshaker, and it's not gonna be good. So you need to. This is something that you can look at pregame, like as you're loading up, or after heroes are selected, and like as you're buying items and stuff. Is you want to like try to do your best to figure out what each composition is good at, and like try to play around that. Generally, it's better to play to your strengths rather than play to your opponent's weaknesses, also, as a general rule.
So, like, if we're both good team fighting teams, it's better to just team fight than it is to try to split push.
Right.
Our team's not good at split pushing.
Yeah, that's an okay general rule. Obviously, it's different if, like, both teams are good at team fighting, but the enemy team is better at team fighting your team composition specifically. That's when it gets, like, a little weird. But, generally, it's just better to play to your hero strengths, and that keeps things much more simple. You can worry about, like, counterplay to the enemy composition later on. But for now, just like focus on what your heroes are good at doing together.
I gotta say, like, it's really weird looking at myself play, because, like, I know, like, I thought, like, I did pretty good at this game. And now I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, God.
Yeah, it was this 2K scrub, oh my god.
Oh.
Yeah. No, I definitely understand. It's it can be pretty rough watching your own replays sometimes. But sometimes you gotta do it. I don't actually recommend doing that too often, because like it's different when you're watching it with me or like another 6K player, or somebody who's like, let's just say, much like more advanced than you, because they can point out things that you might not be able to see. But sometimes when people watch their own replays, they like look at their mistakes or what they think are mistakes. Like they'll, let's say, okay, you know how we were talking about buying a TP early, and like TPing to another lane to help. Let's say they do this and it's a good play, but they mess it up and they die. They might think like, oh, I died, so that was a bad play. I shouldn't do that ever again. Whereas in reality, it's a good play, and it's like that's a good thing to do. If their execution was just better, it would have been good. But so I don't actually recommend watching your replays by yourself. I think stick to watching pro gamers. Okay, so you like to go for Satanic. I think this is an okay choice. I like buying Lifesteal on this hero. It's pretty good. Also, obviously, Strength is great. Makes your illusions tanky and do a lot of damage.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Okay. Okay, it's good.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, that one was...
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Let's look at the setup for this though. So I think this is just carry syndrome, where you think you're really strong, and oh, this idiot's walking up to me, let me kill him, which is fine. Like I'd rather see that than you be super passive all the time. But the problem is here is you don't see any enemy heroes on the map. This is a replay glitch, I believe. Yeah, it is. So you guys don't have any wards right now on the enemy heroes. Like, you have absolutely no idea what's going on here. And, for all you know, all of these guys could be, like, right here. They could be in this little corner. So by you going out here, you're exposing yourself to all of this fog. Like, all of this. They could be anywhere in here. And they end up being here when you go in. So this is just something, like, you have to be reading the map, like, pretty much at all times.
It's not occurring to me that I didn't even have Phantasm for this.
Yeah, you need... Yeah, definitely. Like, you couldn't even kill this hero without Phantasm. Like, he just Scorched Earths and runs away, and you can't do anything about it. Okay, so you end up dying. This is pretty disastrous actually. Like this gives the enemy team so many options. Like they should just immediately go rush here. They could also go for a tower, but that's like less good. Yeah, they should just go for rush here. And it's especially bad because this Roshan is like one of your team's objectives. This is like one of your team's 2 options for winning the game, or like gaining a huge advantage. Because remember, you can either pick off people, or you can go for rush with these specific heroes. And also, it's much less likely that you'll get a pick off if the enemy team has Aegis. So deaths like this are quite impactful. It's a lot less, or it's a lot worse than just losing gold or farming time or whatever.
I want to say this is whenever I make the decision to switch off of Satanic and go BKB instead.
Mm-hmm. I think that would be an okay decision. I'd say. Like we said earlier, they have a lot of spells that you need to, just avoid in general. Like mainly CC spells. Okay. Again, you weren't watching the fight, very closely there. Also, your TP position is bad.
Actually, can you go back and explain where I should have TP'd in then?
Yep, sure. Okay.
So I wasn't watching the fight, obviously. So.
Right. So I think your TP decision was affected by not watching the fight. Like you see that Legion goes in, but then your camera just moves. I think you pressed the 1 key or whatever, and it went back to where your hero died. Well, let's go back. You see here that Tidehunter is stunned. And like I think he had already used Ravage at this point. Maybe he didn't. Okay, let's go back. Okay, yeah, so Tidehunter already Ravaged before you even started your TP. And Legion is dueling right here. The only enemy heroes that could be here, it's actually only Pudge, other than these 2. Because like you see Doom and you see Rasta on the minimap. Like they're giving you all this information. And Rasta has bots, but he just used them, so it doesn't matter. So you should have TP'd like way up here. There's no threats. There's actually no way you die. Like because the enemy team is going to keep focusing Legion Commander. She's, dueling their Spectre. That's a really important hero. And also they use Ravage. The only CC they have available is Dismember and Hook. And even if you get hooked and dismembered, like you're not going to die to Pudge. You can just Phantasm and kill him, like you're going to do now. So, it ends up working out, but the optimal place to TP, like the clean play, is to TP like as far as you can up.
Okay.
Now this would be a little different if like these two heroes were not showing on the map. This is like a mistake by them. They shouldn't have been pushing waves during that time. If they were in fog, then maybe a defensive TP is okay. But even then, I'm not totally, sold on that. Okay, so something you should have picked out during this time is this Rasta does not have a Blink Dagger, and he went bots. So he's just going to be randomly pushing lanes. And your hero is really good at killing Rastas who think they can push lanes. Like you can stun him and then hit him and he dies. And it's great. No counterplay. Maybe he hexes you beforehand or something, like if he has good reaction time. But yeah. So as long as you know that he's, fairly alone, or there's only like 1 or 2 heroes there, then it's totally fine to go for a play like that. Okay, so we're getting to the point where, like, 1 or 2 team fights will decide the game. Or not decide the game, but, like, it's getting more advantageous for whoever wins team fights. Because death timers are getting so much longer. Let's walk up. I think, yeah, again, you guys should just be going for smokes. I'm sure you have them in stock, because you haven't used them too much.
Yeah, no, we only used the 1, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, you have 2 in stock right now, and that's quite important. I really think this is your guys' play. I know I'm harping on it a lot, but I really think it's huge. Okay, you guys, you do elect to do it. That's good.
Oh, this is when I made the call to go for Roche here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is already bad. Like, it's already very bad. Well, I mean, it could go well, but it's, like, conceptually bad. Like, alright, so Earthshaker gets Doom, fight's over. You guys can't win. immediately you start running away. Hopefully, I think that's what you should do in this situation. Okay, so now enemy team gets Roche, or they should get Roche. They should push one of these towers, and that's a disaster. So let's look at the setup and why that was not a good play conceptually. Okay, it's way after this. You guys smoke in here. Okay, so I'm assuming you made the call to go Roche like a little bit before this?
Yeah, I made it like as soon as the fight ended.
Yeah. Okay. So that's fine. But you have to have more information than this. Like, there were many reasons why this call was wrong, and once we get a little bit closer, I will go into detail. Okay, so this decision to push mid before you Roche is good. This will give you information if any enemy heroes decide to like push the wave back, and you'll know where they're positioned. That's good. But you also needed to make sure that this wave was pushed out, and it looks like Ember is going to do it. But so this is good. Okay, we're not as close as I thought. Okay, let's go a little bit up here.
I had been asking for the Roche though for a while. It was like,
yeah,
we can do it. We just need like some kills and then
yeah.
lots of smoke.
You want to be careful not to tunnel vision on calls like this. It wasn't a good call before, but it's not a good call now either. And all right, so let's look at what you see right now. You see nothing. I think this is a replay glitch. Yeah, there are no wards on Doom. Okay, so the map is completely black for you. Your only information is that the enemy heroes are not here, because this goofy ward, and they're not top lane, because you know they're not there, and they're not mid, and they're not bottom because Drow is there. So theoretically, the enemy team could all be right here, and they could like break your smoke and walk in. So one of the things you can do to amend this is to have a hero on your team push out this wave, and maybe get the next one when it's like right here. And by doing this, you'll at least have vision a little bit farther on their side of the map, and an enemy hero is more likely to come push this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like because right now
it's like if someone's split pushing, it's applying pressure over there, and then they
right.
see a lone hero, and then they want to go after that.
Right. Especially when it's a hero like Ember who can get away safely and push really fast with Battle Fury. Like he can die if he gets blink doomed, but there's like he has ways to get away from that. So it's pretty risky, but I think you guys do have to go for something similar to this. But just having one hero top lane pushing, preferably the Ember Spirit, would be really good. And also there are like positioning errors in the fight, but they don't matter as much because the actual decision to go for Roche was bad. Okay, so at this point the game is like not over, but if this were like a 6K game, the game would be over. If we just watched this little part. Or actually, that's not true. If this were like a pro game, the game would be over. 6K pubs are just as bad. So. Okay, so they do Roche. It's taking them a while, but it doesn't matter. Okay, and now they have a Radiant Spectre with Roche, or with Aegis. Obviously not very good for your team.
No, it was not.
Let's go through. You like to buy bots. I'm not too big a fan of this.
I think the idea was that I was going to try to go and split push.
Yeah, you already, like, this is, it's okay, but you already have an Ember Spirit. That's Ember Spirit's thing, is he split pushes and, comes to fights when he's absolutely needed. And he also, like, fights a little bit early and gets pickoffs and stuff, but his main thing is split pushing. That's what he's really good at. It's like you're, almost in a way by doing this, you're, like, making Ember's hero a little bit less effective. And it's also not like Chaos Knight is a great split pusher either. He's really good at killing towers. Like, he's a monster at killing towers, but you have to actually get here without the enemies doing anything. And then you have to Phantasm and hit the tower. Okay, so at this point, I think there's, like, not... I mean, there's stuff to learn from the rest of the replay, but I think we're getting to the point where it's, like... a lot of your early game decisions affected the outcome of this. So, like, I don't know, it's, like, less valuable to talk about the rest. So I think we should go into like final questions or like practice habits, hero pool, stuff like that.
Okay. question. I mean, all right, so a lot of what it seemed like the problem was that like
Mhm.
I just wasn't moving to the right place at the right time. Like throughout the game, like in terms of like the macro and micro, like the small decisions, like for example with the one where you had to pull up on paint,
Yeah.
wasn't going to the right place. Like technically, it still worked out, but or like how I'm getting these TP boots that way I can flip push around.
Right.
What's the best way how to kind of think through that a little bit better?
Oh, well, you can watch pro games. I think that's the best way to learn like how to play a good macro game. And macro is really important in Dota. Like it's not so, you don't have to like be a macro game master and like really understand everything about it, but just understanding the basics is really important. And I think you can get those from watching a pro game. So just like watch a couple.
What do you say right now? So I've been watching since CI.
Yeah, I think watching RTZ's perspective is really good. He's a carry player, but he also gets really active early. So if you like kind of watch an RTZ replay of him playing in a pro game, you'll see a carry player who can farm really well. Like he's one of the best in the world at just farming and getting gold. But he also fights with his heroes. And you can kind of, if you reverse engineer it, like his games, you'll be able to, start understanding why he's moving in certain ways. And then afterwards, after you're done watching, you should go into a game and try to apply that.
Okay.
Like that's the best way to learn. You need to both watch and have an idea of what to do, and then apply it yourself so you get that experience.
Okay. All right. There was something else that I was thinking of.
Okay.
Now, I always kind of have this problem with Europool.
Mhm.
Let me link you my Dota buff because it's probably the easier way how to do it.
Yeah, that would be amazing actually for this.
I don't really go a particular hero, really.
Mhm.
It's kind of just all over the place. Do you think it's better to kind of stay in this like all over the place kind of style, or should I really try to focus in on one or two heroes?
So this is what I preach till I will preach until the end of time, unless somebody like comes up with like some really great argument. But I really think you should play 1,000 games of just playing like every hero, like randoming, playing the all hero challenge, any way that you can play as many heroes as you can. And then after you play like around 1,000 games. Hello? Oh, what the hell? All right, my mic randomly got muted. That was weird.
All right, there we go.
Okay, so I'm gonna preach this until the end of time. Basically, you should play about 1,000 games of every hero, like randoming, doing the all hero challenge, things of that nature, where you naturally want to play every hero. And like after you get a very basic understanding of that, you want to, for the purposes of getting better only, you want to stick to one or two roles and stick to like a fairly small amount of heroes, preferably ones that are basic. Like let me look at the hero list really quick. So like if you were a support player, you could stick to like Crystal Maiden, Ancient Apparition, Dazzle, and like maybe not Lion, maybe Ogre. So like you stick to these heroes, and you just get better at playing these heroes if you wanted to be a support player. And that's mainly because like these heroes are very basic, but they also have the ability to like improve a player's fundamental skills. Because like let's say you want to be a mid player, or let's stick to the support analogy actually. Okay, so Visage is a really good support hero, but he's like by far, in my opinion, the hardest support hero in the game, including Shen. I think he's much harder than Shen, and it's mainly.
Visage is probably my favorite support to play.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so
he nukes so hard, and then you can do crazy stuff with the familiars that I just find kind of fun.
Yeah, no, he's super fun, but when you're playing Visage, and you're not like an amazing player, you're like 2K, you don't have the fundamental skills to back up, or the fundamental mechanics to back up playing this hero, so you're distracted by like the harder things, or the things that need to be easy for you. So like microing your familiars, not giving up easy free familiar kills, properly using bird stuns, Positioning as well. You need to keep in mind your hero's positioning. Like there are all sorts of things that you need to be keeping track of while you're playing Visage, and you're distracting yourself from the really important things, which are fundamental skills like positioning, last sitting, objective control, vision, warding, things like that. So it's okay to be playing these like really hard heroes if you like playing them, but for the purposes of getting better until you're, around like 5K, I really think it's important to stick to like basic heroes and, play them often.
So, all right. So, well, I know I don't want to be a 4 or 5 really.
Right.
It's just kind of not my style.
Okay.
I have a lot of fun playing split pushing heroes like Nature's Prophet.
Yep.
I play Meepo. I like a split pushing hero,
Okay.
which I know is technically.
Yeah, I would blacklist that personally, but I mean.
Yeah, but it works whenever I get.
Mhm.
If I don't get wrecked in lane, it works. I
Mhm.
swear. At this MMR, it works.
No, I believe you.
And then every once in a while, I'll be like, oh, I'll just be a mid player, and then it's okay. But I usually have more fun playing, carries and split pushing off laners and stuff like that.
Right. Okay. So, what I can do for you is I can give you like heroes that I recommend you play, and you can either listen, or you can't, or you don't, and that's fine. That's on you. I think if you play these heroes, you will have a higher chance of getting better.
Sure.
Maybe they'll be less fun, but I personally think getting better is really fun. That's why I like this game, because there's always room to get better on. So, if that's something you're interested in, let me know now.
I mean, that's why I'm here, right?
Okay, yeah.
As a side note,
Cool.
I don't know if you know, you've got this like thing that just spits out a lot of 5s every once in a while.
Yeah, no, my push to mute hotkey is 5, so it just yeah, you can hear like my mic is getting muted. Yeah, so whenever I'm in the hero list, it just randomly does that. Not much I can do about that.
Oh, okay, all right. It was just kind of weird whenever I first.
Yeah,
saw it.
yeah. Okay, so what roles do you want to play? Like if you had to pick 3, we can go in order. Okay, excellent.
Or I guess we're gonna go in order 1, 3, and then 2.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. So let's look at easy 1 heroes. And you said you like split pushing, so we can tailor that a little bit. Your hero pool. Okay, so heroes that are good at split pushing that are also easy from the 1 position. There actually aren't that many. Juggernaut's 1.
Anti-mage question mark?
Yes, but anti-mage is like
this, like huge like sigh, like I hear it in your head, and it's like, oh.
See, I mean, the sigh isn't like at the question. It's like I don't know how to answer really, because like anti-mage is so freaking nuanced. Like he only has 2 abilities, but he's so hard actually, like to really play effectively. But I think because mechanically he's easy, I think it's acceptable. So I'll put that down. So Jug, anti-mage, not Phantom Lancer, not PA, not Morphling. All right, I think we're running out of split push heroes, so we can just do like basic ones. Let's look through. Wraith King, personal favorite.
The 1 button hero. Well,
Yeah.
he's 2 buttons now.
Yeah, he has 2 buttons. Don't forget.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's really good. I highly recommend playing this hero. Not really too much. The carry Venge is good, but he's a little weird. Viper.
I carry Venge a couple times. It has never worked out.
Yeah, I think like she is deceptively difficult because you really need to know how to pressure and stuff. So let's avoid that. We put Viper down. We can do Weaver as well.
Weaver's fun.
Yeah, Weaver is great.
You kind of just don't die.
Okay. Yep. Okay, so let's look at offline heroes. This is the area where I can give you the best advice personally. So Abaddon is a great hero. He's very strong, and also he's very simple. But there are a lot of nuances to him that you can practice as well. So you can focus on the fundamentals.
That game where I did play Abaddon, I played him as a 4. And it was really, really bad at the beginning. It was really bad.
Yeah, I can imagine. Uh, it depends on the laning. How your lane goes quite a bit, but
I was 0-7 in like the first 20 minutes.
yeah, that's a rough one.
It was,
Okay,
one of
Spirit
those
Breaker.
games.
Yeah, everyone has them.
And then it's like I don't understand. Like everyone on our team played really hard, and then we got like I don't know. It just snapped back to us somehow.
In those kind of games, it's important not to freak out and just try to do better next time. Because a lot of people will just like tilt and start a bad tilting spree or whatever, and it's not good. Okay, so there's Tide Hunter. He's a good one too. So all of these heroes are like tanky strength heroes, and
I can't help but Nature's Prophet.
No, I don't think so. No, he's. I mean, you can play him if you think he's fun. That's fine. But for the purposes of getting better, you definitely want to stay away from him. I'll add Enchantress, and she's like similar to Nature's Prophet, and in her laning phase. She's not really easy, but she's like a basic micro hero, and you don't really need to micro to play her. But I recommend you do. Do Enchantress later, but she's a good like intro hero to micro, I think. But all of these heroes are very basic, like Abaddon, you shield and heal people, and then you hit them. Centaur, you blink stun people. Spirit Breaker, you just bash people. You don't even level up charge, so.
You just have 70% on your side, like.
Yeah, and you're good. That's all you need. Tide, you ravage people. You're a good laner as well. Like all these heroes are really easy, but they're also very nuanced, and you can learn a lot about positioning and initiation from playing these heroes, and they're really good. Okay, so a couple mid heroes: Zeus, Death Prophet, Lena. I can't think of any off the top of my head.
Yeah, Invoker's easy, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the new Invoker is pretty easy. You could probably play him, but no, you want to stay away from Invoker. In all seriousness. Okay, what else? There's got to be one more. Oh, let's put Viper. Let's do a little Viper overlap here. Do you have any mid heroes that you like playing?
Let's see. Let me actually look at my. Once I look at them, I'll be like, oh yeah, that one.
Okay.
I really don't play. Wow, it's been a long time since I played Spirit Breaker. TA is probably one of my go-tos.
Okay. I think TA is like a bit mechanically intensive, so for the purposes of like actually just strictly getting better, then I think you should avoid her a little bit.
There is a hero on my bucket list. I know you're gonna say no, but there is a hero on my bucket list.
Okay.
I need to learn how to play.
Let's hear it.
Puck.
All right.
1-9 with Puck. Like I am awful with Puck. It is a joke. Like we'll be like, oh, what hero should we pick? And like I'll be with my friends, so I'll be like, I'll mouse over Puck, and they start yelling at me over that. So bad. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
why.
not only is Puck really difficult, like there's only one pro player that can make her work right now. That's S4.
S4.
Yeah. She also like kind of is not super good. Like she's good, but you have to be so good at her mechanically to make her work. And you really need to understand how much damage she does. You need to understand positioning. You need to be able to bait spells. You also need to be able to push, like split push a little bit. You need to be a great initiator. Like there are so many things to Puck that you have to worry about that if you don't have the mechanics down, you're just gonna feed and you're not gonna do anything and you're not gonna learn much. So I don't recommend playing this until like way later. Maybe you can make Puck like a goal, like when you hit 5k or 4k or something, you can start learning Puck. But also you have to realize that if you start doing this in ranked, then you're gonna lose MMR, and it's that simple. You're gonna lose a lot until you actually learn her.
Become S4 for a day. No big deal. It'll be fine.
Yeah, in a day. That's doable, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that how S4 became S4?
Yeah, he was just like, hey, I should pick this Puck hero.
I should just be S4, and that's how he did it.
Yep,
so I'm
it's
just
pretty
change
easy.
my tag to S4, change my profile pic to S4, and then boom, I can play Puck.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Wow, I wish I knew it was that easy. Yeah. All right, so
that's actually a good tip to your other students who are watching this right now.
Yeah, just pick Puck.
Yeah, just pick Puck and turn into S4.
Okay, thank you. I sent you the list in Skype. So, yeah, if you don't have any other questions, then we should probably wrap this up.
just as another, well, how much are your lessons actually cost?
$20 an hour on Dota Coach.
Okay. All right. Well, I will certainly hit you up at some later point in time. I'll let you know how these are going. I'll probably play some. I'll definitely play some later tonight. I actually have to go pretty soon.
Okay. Well, yeah, thank you very much. I highly recommend if you plan on purchasing another lesson, which you don't have to, obviously, but definitely play like a lot of games in between then, so you can apply like what we learned here. I highly recommend that. It would be much more beneficial for you to do that rather than just like go straight into another lesson. So please do that.
Right.
That's way better for you. Also, if you have like a review, maybe if you think I did a bad job, you can post on the Reddit thread, or if you think I did a good job, you could post on the Reddit thread, or like leave a comment on the video or whatever. I'd really appreciate that.
Post on the Reddit thread in the comment video. I'll leave it as a surprise to what you think.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah.
Have a nice day, man.
All right, thanks, you too. Thanks for your time.